What's going on, YouTube? This is your friendly neighborhood DraftKings addict, bringing my top picks for Week 4 main NFL DFS slate. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get into it. So before we get started, let's get some homework out the way. If you could, go ahead and drop a like on the video real quick. It really helps out the channel. And if you're new to DraftKings addict, thank you for stopping by. Go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss future videos. We got NBA starting up, as you can see. My Houston Rockets, Russell Westbrook, and my boy should have been MVP, James Harden. Alrighty. Go ahead and give me a follow over there on Twitter. And let's go ahead and get it started and talk about these picks. Alright, so last week I had a good week, guys. Some of the plays that I liked that went off, of course. As you can see, Dalvin Cook went off for 27 DraftKings points. Mr. Jones got me 25. And of course, Aguilar, who was super chalk. As you can see, he was 33% on. Went off for 22.5. But yeah, again, another good week. Cashed in most of my lineups. Now, I want to say this, guys. When it comes to DraftKings, it comes down to contest selection. I play a majority of cash games, which are double ups, and head-to-heads. All right, I only play a small amount of tournaments. So, just remember that. And again, I normally play probably about 75% cash, 25% worth of GPP. Sometimes I go a little bit higher, maybe like 85% cash and 15% GPP. But again, every now and then I throw my hat in that GPP, them big tournaments. But just know you got to have a lot of money and be throwing a lot of lineups in there. Profitable DFS player by getting those double ups and those single entry contests. That's the ones that I play mostly when I play GPP. I play the single entry GPPs. Okay. All right. So, I'm supposed to show you that. All right. Let's go get into today's top picks. All right. So I'm gonna be in Draft Dashboard, as you guys know. I got a 30-day trial for $1. The link is in the description of this video. If you like this software and you want to utilize it for yourself, go ahead and try it out. All right. So I always start off at my position optimizer. We also have a cheat sheet, guys, that's in here. So they go a little preview of that. So I'm going to break it down position by position. Again, I play the main slate. So at quarterback, again, what I like to do normally is I sort it by dash rank. All right, cool. Of course, I'm not going to talk about Mahomes. The guys I play every week. He gets Detroit, which is a great matchup. So, again, I don't need to say anything there. So, right now, my favorite quarterbacks right now not named Patrick Mahomes. Okay, again, that's a given. It's going to be Daniel Jones, as you can see down here. He's my cheapest play at quarterback right now. Ooh, look at that. Stafford is cheap at 5.52. It's another guy I'm liking, Stafford, in that Kansas City game, because if Mahomes is going to continue to be the MVP of the league and put up 30-plus points per game, Detroit's going to have to air out their ball to try to keep up with their team. So definitely keep Stafford in your list of players that you want to play. But Daniel Jones, man, dude came out last week, had an awesome game. I played him in a couple lineups, stacked him up with some players. Unfortunately, my guy got hurt, as we already know, right? But Daniel Jones had an awesome game, man. 39 DraftKings points. He had a couple rushing touchdowns. Was a pretty efficient passer. So, man, this guy was looking good. Now he gets a home game up against Washington, one of the most favorable matchups for a QB, as you can see right here, versus the defensive rankings. So at 5.3K, he's pretty much a lock for me in cash games. He's my cash game quarterback. So let's go there. Oh, actually, I have a cheaper quarterback, Case Keenum, man. I'll probably be paying him more in my GPPs, to be honest. But the dude is only 4.9K, and again, he gets another favorable matchup, playing up against New York, who gives up a lot of points through the air. And so, on the problem is Case Keenum is getting a little slim on targets, right? What's the guy's name everybody's talking about? McGorn or whatever, his leading passer, a receiver there in Washington. He's questionable with some hamstring issues, man. If he plays, I'm a little questionable about whether or not I want to play him because of the hamstring issue. But Case Keenum I do like because, again, I'm liking Daniel Jones and that New York team to put up some points this week. The guy ran the offense really well, and they did really good last week. So I do expect Keenum to be playing catch up in that 4.9K. He should be airing the ball out to whoever they have on the receiving core this week. So at 4.9K, he could be a sneaky play. So don't count out Case Keenum at 4.9. That's a cheap guy. I would dare say you could play him in cash too, because again, Shit, look at his last 3 games. 30, 17, and 20. Not too bad for a guy that's 5K. All right. And again, it's a up. Game script says that he should play well because he has a great matchup. So there you go. To be honest, my favorite quarterback on the board is going to be Russell Wilson, going up against this Arizona team. Hold on. Ooh, excuse me, y'all. Man, hopefully that wasn't too loud. All right, so Russell Wilson, 6.1K. Dude just came off a game where he put up 44 DraftKings points, 28 the game before that. He's getting a couple rushing attempts, as you can see, 5.7 on average. So at 6.1K in a favorable matchup versus Arizona, I do like Russell Wilson. Okay, and the Arizona team has been putting up some points and keeping up with teams, and so this could be a good game script as well, where Russell Wilson airs the ball out. I would like to pair him with Tyler Lockett, and as you guys are going to see, I love the tight end in that game. All right, because Arizona is a great team to run tight ends against. So Phillip Rivers, a guy. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Miami is a team that you're gonna attack every week when it comes to your quarterback, especially if you have a quarterback that's halfway decent. And Phillip Rivers is definitely somebody that can put up some points, right? All right, so yeah, we got the news that Mel Gordon is back with the team supposedly, right, and practicing. But from my understanding, they say he has a good chance, quote unquote, to play this week. So with that being said, I don't think Mel Gordon comes back in and takes over the backfield. I think he just gets a little bit of light work to knock the dust off, quote unquote. But I do still like Phillip Rivers and Austin Ekeler and a lot of the people that were there before, So give me some Phillip Rivers at 6.2K. Again, those are my top quarterbacks. Again, Patrick Mahomes is going to be in a great spot. All right, so next up, running back. All right, running back, to be honest, guys, man, my running back pool is very, very slim this week. Favorite top of the board was Austin Ekeler, but that was until we got this Mel Gordon news, right, that he's coming back. But I do still like him in his matchup because I think he still plays a good role with them being tight on receivers, right? Because the Chargers are tight on receivers right now. Austin Ekeler, as you can see, he gets a lot of targets as a running back. All right, so even though Mel Gordon may come in and take away some of the rushing attempts, I don't think it affects his game as far as the targets go, and the guy's been playing out of his mind. At 8K, I still like Austin Ekeler, at least this one more game until next week when Mel Gordon possibly takes back over the backfield. Christian McCaffrey, he's on my list every week. The guy's usage is just through the roof. He rushes it, he receives it. He's pretty much on the floor. I mean, not on the floor, but on the field every snap. Look at that, 98% of the snaps he's playing. All righty. So that being said, Christian McCaffrey is always in play. He's 8.8K going up against Houston. And again, when you look at the board of running back choices, man, you don't have anyone like Zeke, Gurley, with him being dialed down. He's a thing in the past. He's only put up 11, 16, and 4 in the last 3 games, so he's irrelevant, really. In my mind, I actually like Dalvin Cook. I know these numbers over here says that the Chicago defense is a pretty good defense, but, man, look at this guy's production over the last 3 weeks, man. All right, 27, 31, 29. So Dalvin Cook could be a sneak play. All right, so let's go back up here to the top. So Austin Ekeler, Christian McCaffrey, 2 of my guys. Mark Ingram, I like him as a sneak play, guys. Look at that, 6.6K. Last 3 games, 39, 10, and 26. Okay, but he's getting consistent rushes somewhere around 14 on average, and he's even getting a couple of targets when it comes to the passing game. So in this Cleveland game, when it comes to game script, I think Baltimore wins this game, and I like Mark Ingram to get some work, especially around the goal line. But let's just say Cleveland gets their stuff together, and this game becomes a shootout, all right, between Jackson and Baker Mayfield, right? I like Mark Ingram to top it off and get those goal lines. I think he had 3 touchdowns last game, if I remember correctly. All right, so Mark Ingram is getting work around that goal line, so I like him at 6.6K. Don't count him out. He's somebody that you can play if you don't want to pay up for the McCaffrey at 8.8K or Ekeler at 8,000. Another guy like Marlon Mack. Again, guy's a workhorse back. As you can see, he's had 16, 20, and 25. He's getting the rushes. All right, he's getting a couple of targets in the pass game, and he's doing decent when it comes to scoring. Averaging 17 DraftKings points over the last 3 games. He had 1 dud game where he had only 8. and we had 17 and 28 the last 2 games outside of that. So at 6.1K, should be able to pay off his value going up against Oakland. All right, as we can see, team defense is ranked 26, not great. All right, dash rank over here is 96, so he's in a good spot overall. So at 6.1K, Marlon Mack is another guy you can go with. I don't like Fournette. I don't hate. I'm sorry, Fournette against Denver. But I personally not going there. But Chris Carson, man, y'all tell me in the comments. But has he been the biggest disappointment when it comes to running backs that had opportunity and potential that just let you down? I just thought he was gonna have a great year, and so far he's underwhelmed, man. Dude can't hold on to the ball. He has a fumbling problem, and he needs to get that together if he's gonna keep his job. But I think Chris Carson is still in play at 5.7K. Again, great matchup when it comes to the team defense, middle of the pack defense versus the run. But the guy's getting work, averaging 15 rushes per game. But just put that asterisk there. Rushes didn't go down, right? Even though he has this fumbling problem, so he's still getting his 15 rushing attempts per game. But I just had to mention it. I like Chris Carson again, low key. All right, Chris Thompson, definitely somebody I like. Again, that game against New York, Case Keenum is hurting for receivers, and Chris Thompson is somebody that definitely can receive the ball. As you can see, 7.7 targets when it comes to the passing game. All righty. And he has 15, 10, and 15 in the last couple of games. But at 4.5K, I like Chris Thompson too, just because of that upside when it comes to the passing game. So those are my top running backs at the moment. And no, I'm not playing Melvin Gordon. All right, you guys want to play him, go right on ahead, but I'm not playing him. All righty. Next up, my top receivers. Keenan Allen is at the top of the list. Okay, this game, hopefully it doesn't blow out. All right, hopefully Miami can do something to put up some points on the other side of that board. But, hey, if it blows out, I like Keenan Allen to get a couple of touchdowns. He's definitely getting the targets with 10, 15, and 17 in the last couple of games. Again, there's slim on receiving options there and on that side of the ball. So, hey, I like him. Averaging 31 DraftKings points. He's getting the target. He's playing the snaps. Keenan Allen is a beast at 7.6K. All right, next up, Cooper Kupp. All right, target monster. 10, 9, and 12 in the last 3 games. Again, like I said, Gurley is non-existent when it comes to this offense. With that whole, we're going to dial his production back as far as, putting him in situations and to save him or whatever. Hey, Cooper Kupp is eating 6.5K, 12, 21, and 36 in the last 3 games. Need I say more? 6.5K gets a matchup versus Tampa Bay, which should be a nice game script for Cooper Kupp. So, let me get some of that at 6.5K. Again, I told you I like Russell Wilson, all right, in this game versus Arizona, which means I like Tyler Lockett. Now, this guy is a big play guy that gets a lot of his points from that, right? So, when we look at him, 35, 18, and 11 in the last 3 games. Look at his targets, 12 and 14 over the last 2 games. All right, so I do like this matchup when it comes to Tyler Lockett versus Arizona. 6.3K, projected at 16.9 points. Again, that's just a projection. He could definitely exceed that with an extra touchdown or 2, but I do like Tyler Lockett in this matchup. Kenny Golladay sucked last week. I played him in a couple of lineups, man. As you can see, he only put up 4 DraftKings points. Now, I had a good amount of Marvin Jones as well, who went the hell off, which is probably why Golladay didn't do too well. But I like him in his matchup versus Kansas City. Again, that game script says that they're going to be playing from behind, and that means the extra passes. Golladay should receive a lot of those extra passes, so need I say more? Sterling Shepard, low-key, I like him. Let me go ahead and add him to my list. All right, he put up 30 DraftKings points last week, 9 targets. But again, we got Daniel Jones behind the helm now, so he's running that offense, and he's putting up the ball. This guy got a good amount of the targets, him and Ingram. So I do like Sterling Shepard as the wide receiver one at 5.8K. So when it comes to receivers, like I say, this McLaurin guy, again, right now he's questionable with a hamstring issue. He's supposed to play, but we know, guys, that hamstring, man, if it ain't 100%, you ain't cutting right. You're not getting that burst of speed. But at 4.5K, it sounds like he's going to be a pretty highly owned player. 22% ownership is projected. All right? So I can't ignore that. So at 4.5K, I will have a lot of him. a good amount of him, but I'm definitely gonna be lower than the field because again, that hamstring, that right there bothers me. So with that being said, I'm gonna hedge that by putting in some Paul Richardson lineups. All right, 3.7K. He had 22 DraftKings points the last game, 9 targets. Again, 3.7K for a wide receiver that's getting 9 targets, about 7 on average. So definitely Paul Richardson is in my player pool when it comes to my receivers. So that's my top receiver. So let's go to tight end, and we're almost done. All right. So again, I sorted by dash rank. Let's go ahead and do that. And of course, Ingram is at the top. All right. So I'm gonna definitely have a lot of Daniel Jones, Evan Ingram stacks. All right. This guy's getting monster work. All right. 32, 11, and 26 in his last 3 games, averaging 10 targets per game. All right. Need I say more? I believe that's the highest average targets per game for tight ends. Yes, him and Mr. Waller, which is my two favorite when it comes to. Matter of fact, why do I have Ingram marked off? There you go. All right, which comes to my tight end. Those are my 2 favorite tight ends to pay up for, guys. Now, when it comes to paying down, Austin Hooper is in the running at 4.3K. Again, as you can see, this Tennessee team has a decent defense, but when it comes to holding the tight end, not so great. Ranked 27th. All right, so at 4.3K for a guy that's getting 7 targets per game, 17, 7, and 25 in the last couple of games, getting some red zone looks. I do like Mr. Austin Hooper over there in Atlanta for 4.3K. All right, so going down a little further, Will Dissly seems to be the cash game lock. All right, again, Arizona is the worst team when it comes to the tight end rank. They're giving up points after you know what. All right, so at 3.6K, this guy's coming off 2 low-key, nice games, right? All right, Will Dissly just had an 18-point performance last week and a 22-point performance the week before that. Okay, so at 3.6K, he gets a great matchup. I can't ignore that, so I will have a good amount of him. Vernon Davis, again, with the wide receiver 1 having his issues with that hamstring, he would be somebody that I will have peppered in at 3.4K. Again, I'm not playing him in cash or anything like that, but hey, who knows? He could go off and get a touchdown, alrighty, and pay off that 3.4K. All right, but again, Vernon Davis is a long shot, but I will be have a couple of those in there. So who else? This Andrews guy, if I remember correctly, he's dealing with a foot injury, right? So he could be out. So if you really want to go further down, you can try to play that Baltimore backup tight end. This guy right here, Nick Boyle. All right, as you can see, he put up 10 DraftKings points last game. All right, but the guy's almost minimum salary at 2.9K. So if we get news that Mr. Andrews won't be suiting up, then there you go. There go a little value play there. So, all right, guys. So in Draft Dashboard, once you select your watch player list, which is your top players that you like, you can come over to the lineup optimizer and let Draft Dashboard build you a lineup. All right, as you can see, it spit out the lineup. It spit almost all of my salary, left me $100 on the board. Now you can do this with DraftKings or Fanduel, guys. Just so you know, you have both of those as an option. And so as you can see, it gave me Case Keenum, Chris Thompson, Austin Ekeler, Kupp, McLaurin, Richardson. Man, God, we got 2 of them on there. Cool. Darren Waller at my tight end. Then my flex is going to be Christian McCaffrey with the Chargers defense as my defense. So if I like that lineup, I can click save. Now if I want to build more than one lineup, I can go to the mass lineup generator up here. Select how many lineups I want to build. I'm going to go with 20. My randomness. So randomness is this, guys. Those players that you watched, if you want to randomize and use a couple, let the system build a couple of players in that are not on your watch list, make this higher. If you want no randomness, hit none. It'll only use the players that you have liked. So I normally go with low to medium. I try to get 2 unique players. All right, and there you go. Maximum exposure, you can set that as well. If you want to, lower your risk by having, only a top max of 25% of a certain player, because what if that player goes out and hurts his hamstring or gets a concussion, and you have him in 75% of your lineups, that means 75% of your lineups are dead. Alrighty, or have the possibility of being dead. So once you do that, select generate lineups, let Draft Dashboard do the heavy lifting and spit out some fire lineups for you guys. Alrighty, but even though it's building lineups, I would still go through, look at lineups, make sure that they meet your criteria, and if they have players that you don't think are going to do well, that you don't like, you can go in there and click optimize and change that lineup and then go back and export it. So select the lineups that you like, hit export. All right. And then once you hit export the selected lineups, it's going to download the CSV file for you right over here, as you can see. And you can upload that to DraftKings or Fanduel. Alrighty. So again, Draft Dashboard 30-day trial, $1. Link is in the description of the video. Check it out if you're interested. So if you load up the players that I like the most, this is what you got. As you can see, we got Mr. Jones. All right. Taking over there in New York. Benching Eli. Let's go. All right. So at 5.3K, I like him. This matchup is favorable, of course. And again, the guy put up 336 yards passing last week, guys. And he rushed 4 times for 28 yards and 2 touchdowns. All right. Yes, he had a fumble or 2, right? But again, it's his first game as a rookie. Let's go. I like him at home. Energy's gonna be through the roof. So is it gonna be there in that stadium? So let's go. Austin Ekeler, again, I like him, even though Melvin Gordon is supposed to be reporting and playing this week, but I don't think Gordon gets a lot of work. Alrighty. Coming in first game. This is like his preseason game. So, again, I still like Austin Ekeler, AK. This Miami team is going to be trash, and if there's some garbage time, Austin Ekeler should get some work. But, yeah. So, McCaffrey, and then, like I say, Austin Ekeler, if you look at him, guys, he's getting work in the passing game, and that's what I'm saying. This Chargers team is hurting for catchers. Jesus. As you can see, he has 7, 6, and 6 when it comes to receiving receptions. All right. Couple of those. Take it to the house. We got a 45-yard receiving touchdown for Austin Ekeler and the guys blowing it up. So, McCaffrey again versus Houston. Again, it's a workhorse back. The guy's getting the rushing attempts. He's getting the passing attempts. He's on the field. He's a vital piece of that Carolina offense. In Houston, in this Carolina game, could be a nice game. All right, low key. So, Cooper Kupp again. Guy's a target monster. He's getting 12, 10, and 9 when it comes to target. Gets a favorable matchup versus Tampa Bay. This game shoots out, and, hey, Cooper Kupp is going to be a big part of that offense when it comes to the Rams. Again, with Gurley being limited. Will Disley, strictly going off a matchup. All right, the guy doesn't get a ton of targets, but he's getting touchdowns. As you can see, the last 2 weeks, 2 and 1 touchdowns. So clearly he's getting targeted close to that end zone, all right, in the red zone. So with this Arizona team being one of the most favorable matchups for tight ends, I can't help but love Will Disley at 3.6K. Could you pay up for other options that we talked about? Yes, but for me, this guy's the guy I'm going to have a good amount of. And then Gallman, all right, with my man Barkley out 4 to 8 weeks with that high ankle sprain. Oh, it hurt my heart because I had him in my season-long league too, and now he's gone for half of the season. Oh, my God, that hurt. But Wayne Gallman's going to step up. Alrighty. Now, am I expecting this guy to put up 30 DraftKings points like Barkley? No. All right. But if he gets me 20, I'm good at 4.6K. And again, the guy's in a favorable matchup going up against this Washington defense. All right. They don't have a lot of options there when it comes to rushers. If I remember, matter of fact, let's go look at it. Let's go see. So when I go to that New York game and I select running backs, look at their options. They don't have any other options besides this Penny guy. So he's 4.3K. All right. So the options are very limited. So, again, I like Gallman. He's going to be a starter. I'm locking him in when it comes to that guy. He's a value. He's a free square in my opinion. So that leaves you with 4.4K. And if you go in here to this defense and you select you a defensive team, let's see who's the cheapest team that I would go with when it comes to defenses. Texans, no, because we got Kraft on the other side. They can put up some points. Maybe the Ravens, right? All right, because the Ravens are pretty good defense, right? All right. Kansas City, of course, Kansas City beats the snot out of everybody, right? All right, but I wouldn't pay too much for my defense anyway. I would try to find me a value defense, but I like the Ravens. So that leaves you $5,000 for your wide receiver spot. And if you play some value, like we talked about the guy on Washington, right? All right, so where he at? He's down here in the 4,000s. There we go. And so if you play him at 4,500, that leaves you 5,500 for your wide receiver too. Alrighty. And so as you can see, you got some options here, guys. Diggs versus Chicago. My man Marvin Jones, who went the hell off last week with 25 DraftKings points. Woo! Upside guy. But that's a boom and bust guy, y'all. So don't get too excited about that. All right. We got this guy right here. Mecole Hardman, right? Mecole Hardman has been doing okay. 18 and 16 in the last 2 games. All right, he's getting the targets 5 and 6. So again, if that Detroit Kansas City game shoots out, he could be a good part of that, right? All right, playing in the absence of Hill. So again, you got a lot of options, guys. As you can see there, you got Christian Kirk. All right, yeah, I would dare say Emmanuel Sanders, but he disappointed me that game. I was gonna play him. As you can see, he put up 3 DraftKings points. But long story short, you got some options there, guys. So that's all I have for you today, guys. I do appreciate you. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out my video. Again, if you could, drop a like for me if you like the content. Don't forget to subscribe before you go if you're new to the channel. And again, guys, check out this draft dashboard if you're interested. Link is in the description of the video. 30-day trial for $1 whole buck. Peace.